had about from Boriso, and it's a project I will talk about a little bit more today and later this week. So, as you know, this presentation is focuses on the idea or wireframe. So, you are engineering students, so I'm sure some of you are thinking, okay, yeah, those black and white drawing and some X-mark squares, okay, no problem. Yeah. The reality, a wireframe is the final product of a series of crucial tasks that starts from user requirements, the design, the visual mockup, and then the code. Okay. So the real question is, why should we spend our time and our time building a wireframe when we start coding straight away? Some of you will be part of a team inside digital agencies or maybe product companies. Some of you will be freelancer or digital disruptor with me. But whatever our working context is, we will always be working in time constraints and a limited budget. So we have to make sure we are building the right thing. We should find a workflow that would help us mitigate the risk of building something that doesn't work, or even work something that works but people don't want. Okay, so you know how this ends. Okay, the reality is that we can trade speed for quality. Okay, because if you do something like that, maybe you have the impression of going faster at the beginning, but the defects you introduce will slow down later in the process. So you have to start designing something with quality in mind. And please remember that quality is not something that you can evaluate. You have to think about quality with the eye of your customer. Okay. Sometimes designers and coders, developers, tend to confuse complexity with quality. Okay. There is an example is from IMU. It's a 3D avatar social network system, and they spent a lot of time banging their heads because their product was perceived as a low quality product. The reason is that in the 3D world, you have to make sure that the avatar, when it's moving, don't collide with other objects. So this is something really advanced, and they didn't have something like that. So their avatar was stuck on a fixed position. So in some situation, the user went to a bar, and he couldn't move his avatar. It was fixed. From here, the low quality perception. So they were embarrassed and tried to do something. And the solution they came up was, okay, let's teleport the avatar from here to there. Okay. And they were embarrassed because it was perceived as low quality by the team. But they said, well, yeah, let's try it and see what happens. And the funny thing is that at the end of the trial, the perception of their users was that IMView was better than the scenes. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to teleport? You don't have to wait time to see your avatar walking. So they were confusing complexity, this inverse kinematic technology, with quality. Okay. And that's just one example. The thing is that you have to start designing the product. And the design can be roughly divided in two distinct steps: the wireframe and the vision. Then it's in my belief, we should have a big test between each of these steps, and even inside each of them. You build something but it helps us understand that a wireframe isn't a visual mockup. And there are a lot of reasons why you don't use Photoshop to build a wireframe. Okay. The thing is that you have to design the product step by step, removing all the details that are preventing you from focusing on information architecture, user interface, and user experience. So this is something that is helpful for you and for the stakeholders as well, because if you go present design to a stakeholder, he will try to focus on the color details or on the photographs you are using. Oh, I don't like this color. Well, okay. I don't like this font. Well, okay, but what do you think about the experience? You're trying to design an experience, a product. I don't care about the fonts or the color palette. Now, we will focus on these aspects later on the project. And this is very important because if you will find a problem with the UX when you are already designing the visual or even worse when you start coding, that can be time-consuming, frustrating, and really dangerous in budget for the right thing. So, first you design a rough sketch of your design, and then you go on adding details. So, what is a wireframe after all? A wireframe is allowed to meet the representation of a digital product, and it's meant to translate an abstract idea in a visual representation of the experience. So, the focus here is on functionality. Okay. A wireframe prioritizes behavior and content. Okay. It doesn't tell us what a screen looks like. Okay. It tells us a little bit about how it looks like, but not so much as a visual design. And so this is the main difference between them. So, as we were saying, you start designing a low fidelity representation of your key screens, and then step by step you add details, and then you go on to the visual and the code. It's a process of adding details and refining an idea. So, there are a lot of theories about how to best build a digital product. Okay, we used to say this isn't rocket science. Okay, that's true. It's not something like that. But there are a lot of methodologies, a lot of theories. Some very good points are made by design thinking and UX. So let's see briefly what they said. Design thinking is a theory formulated by Tim Brown, and it's a style of thinking. It is considered the ability to combine empathy for the context of a problem. So you have to understand the context. Who are your users? What are their needs? Where they live? Where are they working? Okay. And with creativity in the design of possible solutions, and be aware that creativity isn't a job description. It is a skill, and everybody in the team can be creative. Okay. This is very important because creativity is usually considered to be the realm of designers alone. You will be coders or designers. You can be creative. You have to be creative. It's not a label on the card. Oh, I'm the creative. You are the coder, so you can talk. Okay. You can be creative. You should have. You should be open and be creative. And the last point is rationality, to analyze the solutions and find the best one that solves the problem. While Lean UX teaches us that you have to bring the true nature of a product to life faster in a collaborative, cross-functional way, with less emphasis on deliverables and more stress, more focus on learning and try to find the best experience for your product. I don't know if you know the term deliverable. Briefly, what you give to your stakeholder or your client. Okay. Usually, the design deliverables are a wireframe, a cleaned up prototype, and then you go on with the visual. So you give this sub-product, and then you go on and give the real product. Okay. That's not the focus here. You shouldn't focus on this. Okay. If you can, you should focus on this video. But what I want to say is that what this theory teaches us is that you have to test ruthlessly your concept, your idea, your design from the very beginning. That's the way you can bring the true nature of the product to light. And you can show it, and you can test it. Okay? This is something that the traditional workflow doesn't allow, because, well, first of all, your clients, your customers, your users want to read your business plan. So they won't do what you expect them to do. And then there is another means. You are usually constructing your product on a narrative direction. Okay, it's like a postmodern poem, but typically a project starts with the formulation of user requirements. That is the requirement a user expects from a digital product. Okay, but let's be honest. You can't really know what your users want from your product, okay? Unless, of course, you're doing something just for yourself. The problem is that when you think about user requirements, an exact representation of reality, you go on and optimize. And the problem is that sometimes you can get an epic fail. Okay. Maybe you have perspective of deadlines. Your deliverables are perfect and they are produced on time. So the thing is that you have built something that doesn't work or people don't want. Okay. You're on time. You're just driving off the cliff. Okay. So what those theories suggest is that we consider requirements as assumptions. If you do this shift, you can stop saying we know, and you say we believe. Okay, and then you go on, and you don't say anymore, let's build it. You say, let's test it. This is a huge difference, because when you know something, you do that thing. But if you assume something, the first thing you want to know is that hypothesis is real, is correct. So you test it. This is a case study I'd like to share with you, and it's something that is based on community and social media. So it's not so different from the paper we heard before. Lendo is a startup that is trying to lend money to the middle classes around the world, especially in the developing countries. Okay. Their idea is to base credit on the trust of the community. Okay. So what they say is, in the Middle Ages, when you wanted money, you went to the bank, and the bank knew you. So he could say, okay, he's trustworthy, I lend you money. Now you can do it anymore. You are nobody for the people who have the money. They want to explore those ideas in the contemporary world, and that's done by means of the social network. So they were building the system where users were supposed to come to the website, log in, and add people to interact. The problem is they didn't do it. So they tried to understand why and what they could do. And the solution was really simple, unless you think that they were based in New York and the potential customers were in the southern hemisphere, so in the other part of the planet. So they sketched 3 different ideas they wanted to assign and then moderated the user testing round over Skype. And in just 2 days, they were able to find the best solution and go on doubling it down. So the base of this test was a wireframe. 3 different ideas sketched in 2 days and then tested in real users. This wouldn't be possible in other ways. There are a lot of examples of teams that build for months and months, even years, something that in the end the people didn't want. And this is huge, okay? I can say something about force springs or blankets. There are 2 post-mortems about these projects. If you search on Google, blankets was a social network based on the sharing of events. The problem was that there was limitation. So the people, it was an anti-social network because the people didn't feel wanted. Everybody is going to that event, and nobody told me. That's a problem. And the other project was SPL team network. Well, they spent 7 months scaling the systems because they wanted to create something like the like button from Facebook. The problem was that at the end, nobody used it. Okay. Had they done user testing before, maybe they wouldn't have spent 7 months building a like button like Facebook at the same time as Facebook. Okay. So these examples teach us that we should prioritize learning over growth. Okay, it's easy to think, I have low budget, I have to be on time, so let's build it. No, that's wrong. Because you should learn, not get bigger. Okay, and you have to find out which solution has the best chance of success before you scale it down, you scale it out and build it. This is the reason why it's so important to test your work and your design before you start working. The UX community has selected several methodologies and tools to do this. It's out of the scope of this paper to talk about personas, card sorting, user testing, but the underlying truth is that they are all meant to do testing of the idea. And the wireframe is really a powerful tool in doing so. As you have seen in the case of blending. Okay, the test was based on a wireframe. And a wireframe can be combined with other methodologies. So you can build a wireframe based on some personas and then use the resulting product, design to do some rounds of user testing. thing is that we had to choose a method that can help us adjust or kill a project before the beginning of coding. So we have nowadays a lot of tools at our disposal to build a wireframe. Okay. Maybe some of you know Balsamic, others Action. Okay. Everybody, anyone else knows other softwares or tools to wireframe technology? There is modularity. Okay. Yeah. There are people who like to use this kind of presentation tools to build a wireframe. We did it.
Simulate the interactions.
Yeah. We did it for a huge project. It was crazy, but we did it. Actually, now we use Action in projects to build our wireframes. But the software isn't that important. Okay. What's important is that you start designing something, okay, and test it. So I would like to be as software agnostic as I can be, and this is in line about my personal belief that especially at the beginning of the design, the best tool you can use is just a pen and a piece of paper. Okay. The easiest way to design something, to get some ideas out of our brain, is just to take a sheet of paper and design it. Okay. So you can sketch your design. You can use a prototyping tool like Action or a presentation tool like Keynote. Okay. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you design and learn from it. Why I said I'd like to start with a sketch? Because a sketch can help us define the solution and the problem at the same time. And this is true for digital wireframe as well. The thing is that it's the lack of details, the ambiguity that helps us generate new ideas. Okay. When you start a design project, you have usually a set of requirements or some information about what your product should do, what it's supposed to do, or what is the need you're trying to solve. Okay. Your idea with your brain will start working. Okay. Grab a piece of paper and sketch it. Okay. And don't focus on the details. Just on the main layout. You can do it by sketching. It is really fast. It takes 30 minutes to switch on a computer or fire up your software, creating a file, choose the right libraries, and start designing. In 30 minutes, you will have sketched 30 different variations of your design. And the great thing about sketching is that it's a sketch, so you won't become attached to it. You can toss it in the mail and start over. If you design in software, you could be attached to your design. Well, it's so beautiful. Wow. Okay. So, as I was saying, at the beginning, ambiguity is your friend. Okay. You try to fill in the blanks of the design with your head. So it's more like the brainstorming exercise. It's generative. Okay. You have some solution in your mind. You sketch it out, And by sketching them, you will find other solutions, or you can see some problems you weren't aware of before sketching them. Okay. Sketching or wireframe, it's the same. What's better is the lack of details. So, what are the benefits of wireframe? Well, you can use a wireframe to foster new ideas for yourself. You can use it to communicate your ideas to your peers, to your team members, stakeholders, clients. You can test your ideas and your design. And it's very easy and fast. The great thing is that a picture does say 1,000 words. And you can communicate, structured, very complex information and requirements using the wireframe. You wouldn't be able to do so with a description of the problem. Okay. And this is true because when you see something, you activate the same neurons that you activate when you do something. So your brain patterns react the exact same way. So you will find new problems you couldn't find or see in other ways. So to sum up, wireframe is a brainstorming exercise. So the goal is not the wireframe per se, but the ideas that will emerge from it. It's a powerful communication tool for involving stakeholders in the design project. Okay. What usually happens is that the stakeholders aren't able to define the requirements before seeing something, okay, the visual design. On the other hand, designers don't want to commit to a design before they have a fixed set of requirements. So this is an impasse. So you can, if you are brave, you can organize a collaborative workshop with stakeholders and design the product with them. Maybe you can even hand a pen to them and ask them to design something. Okay, you have to moderate this workshop, but it can work. We have done it with my network project, and it was very helpful because you can explain what the requirements, what their ideas means in the design. And you can show them possible solutions for their questions or requirements. And it's very fast, very easy. It's not easy, okay, but it's fast. The wireframe is also an internal communication tool. You can use a wireframe to communicate to other team members what the product should do, what are the interactions or states of the screens. And as we were saying, a great testing tools. It doesn't matter if you have just a few static quick screens or a click down, interactive prototype. Start testing it with your team members, stakeholders, clients, friends. Okay, it doesn't matter. Stephen Clark says that you need not more than 5 people to test a product. 5 people from the street. You go on a bar, offer a coffee, and say, what do you think about this? Try it out. It can be sketched on a piece of paper. Do you understand what's the purpose of this? Don't you? Why? What is the problem for you? Okay, 5 people. Okay, 10 years, $10 each. You are set. And the great thing is that wireframe is really fast. So you can sketch some solutions, go for the first round of testing, review the brief, the results, and be ready for a second round for the next step. Okay. So, let me share with you some tips and tricks about wireframing. Then we'll go on with some hands-on. I'd like to, yeah. I have the techniques. So, wireframing is a language. So there is a standardization of signs. Okay. The square with the X is an image, but you can also use like the editing style. It doesn't matter. What is matter is that you are consistent. Okay, you can change the style every 2 keys, 3 keys. Okay, you have to be consistent because other people should understand straight away what you're trying to say. Another good piece of advice is that you should try to limit the use of colors and visual details. So don't try to use different fonts. Oh, it's good. This is really cute. It's script. I don't know. Oh, I like this color. Okay, maybe some clients will like it. You will like it. But there are 2 problems. You are introducing details that are not necessary for the design of the product, for the user experience. And then you are biasing your graphic design, because if you use the red for a button, rest assured, in the visual design, that button will be red. Okay? So, it's best if you use just black and white and a couple shades of gray. And if you want to use a color, use it to your notations or just to highlight the main call to action or specific elements of the user interface. So it won't be the color per se, but you highlight that it brings to an element that will be important. So you won't bias your designs. Of course, we are talking about mobile ones. So we are talking about touch experience. Okay. We are transitioning these years from graphical user interface to natural user interface. Graphical user interface is Win system. Okay. You use windows, icons, and without a mouse, you command a pointer. Okay. In a natural user interface, use your hands to interact with the product. So it's not that easy anymore. When we were designing for the web, there was just one interaction, maybe 2. The click, then there was the hover, then the drag and drop. Okay, there are 3. You were limited. That was easy. That was confident. Now we have several interactions we can use. We should be aware of them. We should make use of them, and we should be able to communicate them in the design. So if your component, your user interface, will react to a tap or a press and hold, you should use a sign to say it. Okay. There isn't a standardization of these symbols. There are a lot of them. Some use little hands, some use a notation that's similar to the one that Android guidelines use. Have you scanned or have you read the guidelines from Android? Okay, so they use something like that for their notation. So the circle is the tab, the second one is a hold, then you can swipe, okay, pinch, zoom. Another really good starting point is to think mobile first. This is especially true if you are designing a mobile website or responsive website. But it's mindset you can use for mobile related apps as well. Okay. Mobile first teaches us that we should start from mobile because we have a limited screen real estate. So you have to focus on the main content, on the main function of your product, and then go on for it. Have you ever designed or coded something for a desktop environment? No. The problem was that there was a really big screen. So every stakeholders usually try to get a piece of it. Okay, well the whole page is so great, it's so big. Okay, I want this square, I want this one, put this call to action, this advertisement. Okay. The problem was when we were porting these experiences to the mobile environment, there was not enough space. So what the heck? What should we do? So you start designing for mobile, and then if you have more space, you can add some visual noise. But the thing is, if you focus on mobile, you are safe, even in the desktop experience. We were conducting some user testing about a really big player in the sports news in Italy. It was a request for proposal. We did the user testing about their existing products, digital products, and the funny thing is that a lot of people say that the mobile website that was ugly was better than the desktop one because it was easier to understand. Okay, it was ugly, but it was usable, ergonomic, clear. There was no visual noise. It was clear what you have to do to read your soccer news. Okay, that was the wireless. The other thing that we should be aware of in wireless is that you don't have a mouse and a pointer. Okay, the pointer has a single pixel precision. Your fingers doesn't. Okay, so you have to make your touch areas bigger, and you can't use overstates anymore. Okay, you shouldn't use it on the web as well. That's another story. So MIT did some research, okay, and said, okay, what is the average size of a fingertips, of a finger tab? Okay, 7 millimeters is the smallest. Okay, so you should design your products having in mind these measures. Apple says us that this means doing buttons, touch targets at least 44 pixels. Okay. And Windows says almost the same thing too. Okay. They use a different notation. Okay. They use millimeters and then convert to pixels. But okay, it's 40 pixels. If you don't have so much space, you can make them a little bit smaller, but not so much. Okay. It's 30. And if you try to design 30 pixel button and try it out on a phone, it's small. Okay. The same is true about fonts. You don't use 12 pixel fonts. It's too small. And Android guidelines teaches us the same thing. Okay. This is from their guidelines. So if you do that, you'll find the same thing. And the button is 48 dB, digital. Okay. almost the same thickness, 44 or 50 pixels. This is a typical screen from Android. So everybody knows status bar, navigation bar, and in the case of the tablet, the combined bar. If we go on, we can separate the main action bar from the view control. It's very important for navigation. The content area and separated split action bar that we can use to put other actions that doesn't fit in the action bar above. But let's get back to the design workflow. So at the beginning, it's best if you use divergent design. That means that you try to sketch out or wireframe different ideas for a single key screen. Okay, you select a key screen and you sketch out different versions of it. It's best if you can do at least 3 versions, because this is a brainstorming exercise. So the more versions you have, the more idea you can test and emerge later on. And you don't have to be very detailed. Now, here you have to be fast and design different solutions. Okay. For the key screen, on part of it. Okay. You can focus on the navigation for a single piece of the user interface. If you are short of ideas, there is no shame in using libraries that you can find online, like patterns or non-unique. It's okay. It's called benchmark. You can look online. There are solutions to your problem. Okay. Don't try to reinvent the wheel every time. Maybe there is already a solution for your problem. Okay. So it's not shameful. It's okay to do. So you try to sketch out different solutions. Here we can see some ideas we sketched about a Magneto project. It was about navigation. It was Magneto. It's quite simple in terms of navigation and structure. We have 4 areas. It is map coverage area. You can use the map to check the coverage. There is a reports area. You can compose and send reports to waterfall. And then we have the register of the issue you send. And then you can get follow back from waterfall about your ticket. So we were trying to ascertain what was the best way to structure the navigation. So we have on the right a hub, okay, 4 buttons, or what you can call a home, or we can design some custom tab application. Okay. On the left, what you see is like collapsible tabs. It's like a standard tabs application, but customized. So we tried very different ideas. At this phase, we don't know what is the best solution. So be creative. Use your imagination. These are 4 variations for the report composition screen. They are not so different. Okay. there is the send button below, and then 4 areas where you can specify and edit your notes, your location, the date, and your environment. If you were indoor or outdoor. When you have designed some ideas, you review them with your team member, and you try to select which one solves the problem you are trying to solve. Okay. This is the analytical part. We have seen before. Design team says that we have to be creative in the design of the solution. That was the divergent design. Now we have to be analytical and try to focus on the best solution. Sometimes it's not a single one of them. You have to combine different ideas in one single design. So maybe no one of these is right. Maybe, okay, I think that, I don't know, the map is good up, okay, or down, okay. You can combine different ideas. And this is called convergent design. Your ideas will converge in one single option that you will refine and test. At the end, you will have a design for not every, but most of your key screens. You have to put them together to see and communicate how do they work together. Okay. This is UI flow. UI flow focuses on the interaction between the users and the screens, and how the screens react to specific action. Okay. It's like a flow of the interface. Here I go here, when I come here, when I search here, I will show a list of possible results. So you can show the flow different states of a single key screen. My advice here is try not to overcomplicate them. You can have several branches in a single flow. That's not the best case. Make a separate one. Okay, try to be as linear as possible, because it's easier to understand to communicate to other people. And a good principle is called the Pareto principle. You don't have to design everything, every key screens, every interaction, every state. Okay. A good rule of thumb is design the 20% of the interface that your user will use 80% of the time. Okay. So limit the cases and the key screens and focus on them. Focus on a journey, on a task. Okay. I want my user to send a report. Okay. How can I do it? How can I put together my key screens and make it easier for my users to send Vodafone a report? Okay. This is quite long. I want really to do, but it's like a checklist you can use in your design workflow. You or your team, to be sure that you are going in the right direction. So, if you see there are a lot of questions and a lot of testing down the road. So, a lot of reviews by yourself or with your team. And then, maybe the best advice I can give you is to test your design on your real props. This is really important. You can't get a feeling about the design for a while if you don't see it on your real props. Okay. If you're sketching it, you can just cut it out and use a font as a pad to try it. You can design, you can sketch in real scale to be sure. Or you can scan your key screens, import it in Action or other program tool, and then export them as a clickable prototype. Or if you are designing in Action, native design, native wireframe, it's easy. Action gives us a lot of options to export for mobile. So we'll see later how we can do it. And when you have your prototype in your phone, then you can test it like a user will use your product. It's easy. So, be lazy. Don't try to invent the wheel every time. Okay, maybe the solution is already there. What we try to do? Okay, don't design everything. Okay, if you have to do it, sometimes the clients want to see it all, okay, end to end. During the design or internally, you don't have to design everything. Okay, be fast. Get inspired. Use other apps, browse online libraries. Okay. Stop at good enough. Don't try to paint the limit. Okay. It's not that you have to be integrated in everything. Maybe some details will be handled by your visual design. Okay. It's not up to you during your wireframe activities to be so much detailed. Be open. This is very important. Okay. We were saying that creativity isn't a job description. Everybody can create. So don't be shy. Okay, don't be closed. Share your design or your code with your peers. Okay. Don't try to be, okay, I'm the designer, you will see my design when it's over. Okay. Oh, I'm creative. You will see my visual when it's done. Okay, I'm the developer. You will see the product. You can use the product when it's done. Okay, this is the coyote team. Okay, you will see when it's done, and it will be too late to correct it. Okay. There are teams that release products without testing it. Okay, it can be a success. It can be a flop. Okay, 1-to-1, 50-50. And well, wait out, sketch somewhat. Okay. If you're not sure about your design, maybe you should try a different solution. Okay. So let's try something. When you a computer, you can use sketching templates, or you can see a little bit of worksheet. What do you want to do? I'll show you a little bit of action and then sketch something. Okay.
do some wireframing about an application.
Okay.
More focused on user experience.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, so I won't do it. Okay, this was the design for the iPad version of my network. And so it's not good. This is a prototype that we built in Action, and you can export it like an HTML prototype. So you can see we can add a lot of interactions to our prototype. This is a custom application. We didn't use anything standard, nor for iPad, nor for Android tablet. We choose to build a custom application. But, okay, you can have a lot of interactions with your design. Okay. So, the app is intended to give Vodafone users, customers, the possibility to send to the carrier reports about performance. Okay. So you can just check on the map how the coverage, the expected coverage is. You can use this slider to say, okay, let's show me the LTE coverage in this area. So you have a color over the net. Of course, you can center the net in your current position. And you can grab your feed to different locations. You will see the address, and from here you can ask for the coverage. So you have an LTE is available, while HSPA is available. You can have different limitations, or you can just send a report. So you have a list of possible problems, like phone call drop, possible to send an SMS, or internet connection is unavailable. So you choose one of them. Okay. The left zoom on your address, exact address. You can say when, where, and add some notes and send it. Okay. And then you have a register to see past issues. Because Vodafone does a follow-up, says to this customer, okay, you said you were able to send an SMS. Okay, the problem was not reply. This is an example of an interactive prototype built in Action. In Action, you have your pages on the left, the widgets you can use on your pages, and a master palette. Okay, a master is an object that you can create with different widgets, and then you can reuse it on different pages. So when you change a master, it will change the other page. So if you think about a website, the header will be a master, or the footer. Or if you are designing a mobile application, the action bar will be a master. Okay. can specify what happens with the click, with the drag and drop, and so on. And with the dynamic panel list. So we can see a little bit about the widgets. So you have the image. Okay. You can use, of course, an existing image. And you can build your wireframe using the existing widget. Of course, this is a standard version. You can download or create custom libraries to make it looking better. Okay. I think it's best not to be over detailed in your design. Okay. So you just drag and drop your elements. You can resize them. You can, of course, change the colors if you need to create the elements. Okay. So I've put it here. For example, this is a wireframe for an Android app. Okay. I use a standard action bar, and in this case, I want to try a navigation drawer. Okay. The navigation options is the drawer that can expand from the left of the screen. Okay. So I created my action bar in the rectangle. You can resize it as you wish. I use an iPhone viewport because I have an iPhone, so it's better for me to test it. If you use 120 pixel wide. And then I've created, this is a master because I intend to use it in every page. Okay. So let's see about master. This is just an image and the placeholder. This should be the icon of my app. And then I have a dynamic panel. This. I start from the very beginning. Just copy these elements. This is just this widget. Then I can add interactions with these elements. Okay, the dynamic panel you can see over here as a name. This is not there, so let's call it drawer. Okay, and now it has just one state. Okay, let's call it close. There is nothing inside it. Let's add another state. Open. Actually shows us where are the needs of my panel. So I can get feeling about my real estate. Let's say we want to add our list of these fields. Okay. And we can add text. So we we should make these elements interactive. So we can select one of them, and then you can see the interaction panel populate with some options. So I want them on click on these elements. We want what? That we open a link in the current window. So let's say page 1. Okay. So this is a widget element with interaction like this. So let's get back to our page. Okay. I don't see anything because the first state is closed. If I move this one up, I see where there is inside. Okay. Then we want to say that by clicking on the menu element, the drawer should come out. Okay. And we can add an animation. So we can say on click. We want that the panel drawer gain the open state and should animate it with a slide to the right in half a second. Okay. We can say, okay, slide right, slide down, slide up. Since we are going to put some content in the main area of our app. So let's say, okay, image. We should assign a hidden state to the drawer and put it on the back. Okay, so it doesn't overlap other elements. So when we click on the menu button, we want that the drawer come to the front. Okay. So let's try this out. Okay, this is the page we have built. We have exported it. HTML page. We can just try and click. Wow, okay. There's some glitch. I can see the right line. Okay, it's in. I can try and click on the screen 1 and then go to page 1. Okay. The problem is, how can I close it? Okay. So we should add some more interactions to these elements. I run it like here. Okay, this is the same elements done previously, so I can open it. I can open it. propose to you about, I don't know, maybe the next year summer school, okay, we can design an app or a mobile website to present schedule, presenters, I don't know, applications. Okay, so maybe if you, I don't want to go around to your presentation. So, would you like to see some more about actual Google Sketch? Yeah.
Can we record our own animation?
Sorry?
Can we record our own animations like Microsoft Expression again?
Not with actual. You have to use a screencast program. You want to play the animation later on without interacting.
Because I want to slide, right? I want to something else. Appears.
Oh yeah. Like what?
I don't know.
Okay. You can when you have
I want to slide from the right, from the left to the right, one by one, for example.
right. Example I showed you before. This one.
Yes, something else.
Okay.
If the animation is there already in the library of actually, can I record my own animation?
Okay. You have to program every single movement alone. So you have to say, when I click here, first of all, you slide down this pen, then wait X seconds, and then slide this one from the right. Okay. So we can do it. For example, let's create another page. So we can say, when I click on this element, I want that you can create 3 different panels. 1, 2, 3. We can say that copy and paste it, so it can be easier. Okay, I want when I click on this element, click. So let's handle it. It's easier. So when I click on this element, I want that the panel or get to the step 1. Okay. We can fade it, for example, in half a second. Then we want the system will wait. You can change directions. So the system wait 1 second and then set the panel go to the step 1 by slide down. And then it should wait another second and then set the panel 3, 1, sliding to the right. Okay, so we have to second slide up. So the more complex is your interaction, the more complex interaction you have to design. The big interaction in this case is that if you have different interactive elements, you should wait until the first animation is over before clicking.
You cannot use it.
For example, okay, if I do this, sometimes, okay, it doesn't reset the second element. So you can you have to wait because there is no control over the variables during the animation. Because another thing that you can do is say, okay, you have to do this, but just under these conditions. For example, you can set the variables. Exactly. You can say if the menu is on the state 1, so the state 1 shows the name of the activity. So if the menu is open, don't open it, but close it. So you have a toggle button. If it's open, then close it. If it's closed, then open. And this is possible by using variables. So in our interaction, we can say, okay, we have clicked on the menu button. So after all the animations, we can say, okay, set variable and widget library. Okay. We can add a new variable and say, we should have the variable on the log page, because if I try and export it right now, it won't wait. Because when I say open it, if the variable is closed, there is no variable. Okay, so or I say if it's open, then close it as open, or I should have a variable in the page code interaction. Other questions? Yeah?
Once you create your prototype and you're happy with how it's reusable for when you want to make an application?
What do you mean reusable? If you want to use it in code?
For instance, we created all sorts of states. Is it exportable to state charts?
For sure, no. It's not reusable in that sense. That's why you should prototype all of it. Okay, this is like one of a kind. Okay, we prototype everything, every interaction. Okay, when I'm here, what happens when I click here? Okay, close it and then open it. This is not so good in UX kind of view. Okay. We could have stopped long before this kind of interaction. Okay. This was made to send the product to the client. So we said, okay, we can do this. Okay, let's do it. You can export this kind of interaction to the system for function. wireframe, it's not valuable per se, but from the idea you can take it. Okay. You use this as a guide for your coding. Usually, it could be cool if you could just export from here. We tried something like that with Xcode. So trying to design in Xcode and exporting this high-level product to a prototype and then work with it is possible, it's not so fast. Because as you can see, it took 5 minutes to create a robot. Okay, it's not perfect, you can refine it, you can add more interactions, but it's really easy. If you use programming software, it's not that fast to prototype. And one thing that I can tell you is that the more your software is complex, the more your tool is complex, the harder it is to design something. Okay. You lose yourself in interactions. Oh, wow, I can design it from line. Wow, that's good. Okay. This is something that you should take care of later on. So that's why I start sketching, because it's easy. You can overcomplicate it. So if you can use Photoshop to do a wireframe. It's doable. Software needs to be as much simple as it should be. Try to build something actual. If you want to try the prototype on a phone, you can just scan the QR code. It should open the site. It's best viewed on an iPhone, but it will work on an Android. So, thank you very much. If you have questions or anything else, I will be here for the long, so don't be shy. Have a nice day.